It's been more than a week in 2021 of my applying for many jobs, including some that are way beneath my skill sets that are part-time so that I could work on my own culture repair projects at the same time. And I can see that things aren't moving because the people primates of the west coast of North America here, the Homo communia, they're still not budging at all. There's no deviating from what doesn't work in mental health and education in those cultures that keep being more part of the problem than the solution. Look at these shoes. I recently put new soles in them. My feet are getting used to them, but they've been around. I bought them in South Korea. They're in North Face, and they were on sale but expensive, and I was supposed to get tax back when I left there, but because it didn't fit exactly their rules, I didn't get it back. When I was in South Korea, I also bought some really cheap badminton shoes on sale, and they were the kind of the cheaper one of a South Korean brand of shoes. So they were made in Vietnam, where I'd been before. So Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, and recently Uganda. And these are all countries I traveled to collect data and also in search of the elusive Homo sapien. Just one would have been nice. A community would have been where I would have settled. And all four of these, including Uganda this week, I've collected the data that they have plagiarized me, and they have stolen my identity and my work in ways that fits their money laundering schemes. That is the norm for their cultures. And that they're all about image as opposed to doing the work to actually be who they claim to be. And again, that work takes some months and some years, but still not as much work as putting up an image and fighting it off when they interact with people who have made more progress with them in these values and behaviors and skills and abilities and qualities. So it's kind of weird. Anyways, these shoes have been repaired a few times, including a guy in Gulu, Uganda, who would sit where, man, they put very stinky, hot garbage cans, big garbage cans for this mall in Gulu, with like rotting fish in it, and he had some physical handicaps, so he'd be sitting on the ground fixing things. I gave him more than he was asking for by a little bit, but I could not afford much more, and for him it would have been huge. And of course he maybe thought I had a lot of money, but one of the reasons I went there also is that it really destroyed my budget to stay a long time in Japan, even with finding ways to not have to pay for a room. And then not having Japan and their service that helps foreigners to actually advocate for us. I didn't get a chance to get a vaccine for yellow fever in Japan, so I had to pay extra money to go back to South Korea for the third time to do that vaccine before Uganda. And I gave them a little bit more, but these shoes have been around and they've walked quite a bit, and I fixed them a few times too. So that guy was a hard-working guy, and I tell you, it's kind of weird that he doesn't get to own one of these properties that I walk by on the way down here. Perfectly manicured lawns, you know, all look different, in houses that are very comfortable, that I can never see myself in, because for me, I would only be in something that big if I, if I was part of a happy family, which is what creates a home. Otherwise, it's just a building. And I don't see that likely without finding an Homo sapien. And so for me, I'd be happy just living in a van down by the river. You know, it's a joke from Saturday Night Live, but I mean, just a beautiful place like this beach here, and just having a tent that has a comfortable mattress. Like I stayed in the north of Ontario for 7 weeks. Was the best sleep I had with the animals, who became very friendly with me in that semi-abandoned campground. So I had food yesterday that was delicious, but I just told the lady, it was the last time I went there, because she, as opposed to two others that worked there, was rude with me. And I said, am I not going to get an apology because you were rude with me at this other place before I came here, where I bumped into her. And No, it's all about giving money, right? Same thing when I was in Paris, and after I visited there shortly, I never wanted to go to France because I had an idea what it'd be like. But it was pretty traumatic how every place indoors felt like they wanted to rape my wallet. So when I was at this Asian food place, which has very delicious food and it's inexpensive, to just be treated like this was not okay with me. I had to say, well, it's the last time I'll go there. And no apology or anything. And she was nice. I said, why do you now communicate with me? And, you know, if I'm handing her $15. So I have to buy fake friendliness. Otherwise, I'm not even going to get an attempt to get fake friendliness from a lot of people in this crazy monetary paradigm society. It was very sad, again, seeing the data I found about how my ideas were stolen instead of getting them for free from me in a way that will work. Because you can't sell the image that you're giving this program that they stole from me without having people having achieved all the skill sets and personal development themselves to role model it. I created this program along with the foundation that I named of the people that it was inspired from. But to believe that they can all dress nice on this day in a country where even the poorest countries had nicer clothes than me and sell this image as a form of intellectual laziness. It's so apparent even with people with PhDs that they fall trapped to the intellectual laziness of making assumptions about things. And they all seem to have the solution of what my life should be. All I need to do is this, then don't worry about spending money and be disappointed because you got plenty more. No, I will not spend money there anymore. I've been volunteering for 4 years, and the little bit of money I have, I will not allow to be raped from me, you know. So I'm not going to buy a vehicle here until the society where I am is going to either a motorcycle in the rain or whatever. I'm not going to spend any large sums of money until it is proven to me, even as a volunteer, that they will appreciate the services that I want to offer. Now, people think I'm crazy for doing this, but I'm just following human-related standards based on an uncompromised definition of sentience and sapience. So, again, you think I'm weird. I think you're weird. The 99.6% of you, the Homo communia, the people-primates, the failed species that gets deeper in your denial. You should read Isaac Asimov's Nightfall story again, because that's going to happen for you pretty soon. Behaviors like this, there's more and more people, my theories are in predicting, are going to go into religious paradigms as also a form of cognitive dissonance, speeding up the decline of the higher brain functions, because you'll also be attempting to have multiple incompatible worldviews at the same time with these increases in religious beliefs. It's pretty sad that the Pope has to tell people to follow a little bit more scientific principles.